So Dylan, what's the fourth proof?
The degrees
Found in things.
The fourth proof is called the degrees found in things. Nearly everything found in nature has varying degrees to it. The most obvious example is in temperature. This can be demonstrated with fire. Just as there can be a small fire on a match, there can also be a large campfire. And as you observe the higher degrees of flame, eventually you can reach the highest degree of flame there is, a burning star. There are varying degrees in nearly everything, including love. For example, don't you often hear people saying things like, "Oh, I love that puppy"? We all realize that what one feels when seeing a cute animal is nothing compared to the love we have for our parents. Those are varying degrees of love. But because there are varying degrees of love, then just as for fire, there must be a highest possible degree of love, and that is the love of God.
That sure was a lot of evidence.
I wonder what the fifth proof is.
The cosmos!
The fifth proof is called the cosmos. The cosmos is about the very ordered structure of nature. For example, the existence of rain itself relies on very specific properties of water that allow the water cycle to exist. Even all wind systems and ocean currents rely on very specific conditions that they would not exist without. Even life itself on Earth relies on specific conditions. If the balance of gases in the atmosphere was slightly different, or the Earth was slightly closer or farther from the Sun, life would be impossible. The odds of these conditions all occurring naturally are incredibly small. The structure of the universe itself is very ordered. The formation of stars and galaxies and planets would not be possible without the properties of gravity. The transfer of light would not even be possible without specific properties of electromagnetic fields which exist naturally. Every single property of the cosmos has to be exactly like it is for life to exist as it does. All of these properties must have been purposely designed. As an analogy, think of the universe as a pizza. Two friends see the pizza, one who believes in God and one who is an atheist. The friend who believes in God says, "Wow, that looks like a good pizza. It must have been made by a very talented chef." But the atheist would say, "You don't know that. You can't prove that." In the same way, it would seem very ignorant to look at the vast cosmos and to think that it was all random chance.
I think that evolution disproves the existence of God.
Or does it?
Some people state that evolution disproves the existence of God. They say that now that we can explain the wide variety of species, we no longer need a God to explain things. However, evolution has much evidence for it, and the Church supports the use of reason. So then how can one believe in both God and evolution? Well, believing in God does not also require belief in creation as described in the Bible. All that matters is that God created the universe, and that God created life itself. This is entirely compatible with evolution, because the one thing that evolution does not address is the origin of life. Every single living organism has to be born from a parent organism. New organisms cannot be born without a parent. This means that life could not have occurred naturally, and must have been intentionally designed by God.
Wow, that sure was a lot of evidence. I wonder if I should believe in God. I mean, is there any more evidence?
Pascal's wager.
Pascal's wager is an insight into why one should believe in God. It states that even if a person does not conclude God exists through the overwhelming evidence, a person should wager that God does exist. Pascal's wager states that a person who believes in God has everything to gain and nothing to lose. If a person does not believe in God and God does not exist, then nothing will happen to the person when he dies. But if God does exist, then that person risks eternal punishment. If a person believes in God and God doesn't exist, then nothing will happen to the person. But if the person believes and God is real, then the person is rewarded with eternal salvation. So for a non-believer, the only possibilities are nothing and eternal punishment. But the possibilities for the believer are nothing and eternal salvation. So even if you are unsure about the existence of God, it is logical to believe, because by believing in God, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Well, I guess there probably is a God.
Bob, look! Microsoft repaired your Xbox 360 for free!
There is a God!
Yeah!